what it's about. Remember what you think. Yeah.
What, did Brooke Shields die and leave you her closet or something?
No, I'm doing comparison shopping. You see, these denims are the top-selling lines across the United States. I'm pulling the best features off each pair of pants, and I'm going to incorporate them into Gina Jeans.
Well, isn't that slightly illegal?
Well, of course not. I mean, you can copyright a label, but, well, the denim market is wide open other than that. And Levi Strauss was just the tip of the chino, if you know what I mean.
Mom, the market is completely flooded with denim jeans. Why buy yours?
Because nobody is going to come between me and my Ginas. Not Calvin, not Gloria. I am going to make them look like pedal pushers in the rag bag trade. And I want you right there with me, hands-on. It's the only way I can make this work.
Oh, great. How I spent my summer vacation stitching labels on jeans for women with fat suctioned bottoms.
Lily.
Might as well just give me my Nobel Prize right now.
I think you'll feel a little differently when the money starts rolling in. Oh, by the way, I hired Ken Mathis, you know, Sophia's boyfriend. He's going to be handling marketing on a commission basis only, of course.
Well, give him my cut. It's money gonna buy me that I already can't have at any price.
Do you mean Rafe? Lily, you know what you need?
I need Rafe.
No, you need to forget about Rafe and Lisa and the marriage and everything else. We have a new rule around here. Forget about the past. Think about the future, which is right about to walk through that door. I've hired a hot designer from New York to help out with the line. He should be here any minute. Oh, dear Lily.
So why do you think Katrina and Ted didn't join us?
They're probably out showing off Ted's engagement ring.
Now, I understand that Katrina asked for Ted's hand in marriage, which I think is very, very progressive.
It's also much more honest.
Really? How so?
Well, it's always the woman in the end who tricks the man into proposing.
Oh, what a chauvinist slant on an institution created by men solely for their own comfort and convenience. I suppose you think that I tricked you into marriage.
Absolutely. No man who examines his marriage intelligently can escape the fact that it's comprised in large measure of slavery, with himself as the slave. That's the theory according to Mencken.
Mencken? Mencken was a manic depressive who thought that human existence was a bore. He was a bore, and now he's dead, which is why you have to sleep on the couch.
Says who?
Says me.
Says who? Says who? Oh, I am your slave, you know that? And I wear my dog collar and my chains and my handcuffs.
Chains?
Yes.
Chains? Let's
with
examine this
pride.
a little further.
And sounds like heaven to me. Oh, Julia, this may be as close as we ever get.
It's fine with me. Heaven, here we come.
Yes.
For three, you, me, and Samantha.
Census, we have to take a new one, change the 3 to 4.
Right, Runquist. I forgot about Runquist. Is that what you meant?
No. I meant the new baby we're about to make. AKA the gleam in his daddy's eyes.
Where? I don't see a gleam. Let me look closer.
Here.
Wait, I think I have.
Cruz, hi.
Hi.
I didn't know you were coming by. What are you doing?
I'm invading your privacy, B Jay, and I'm apologizing to you. I shouldn't have gone through your stuff without asking.
No harm done. It's just notes for a story.
You sure about that?
Sure, I'm sure. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I'm hoping you won't pretend with me. I'm here to help you. Or have you heard that from somebody else you trusted?
You're scaring me, Cruz.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, but I need to ask you something. If I'm off base, you can tell me so, and I'll leave. But if I'm right, I'm hoping you let me stay and maybe help you open something that's been closed a long time.
Sounds like a biggie. So?
So this RA that you profiled, this girl who was molested as a child, it's Rachel Ann, isn't it? It's you.
You do want to have another child, don't you?
If I still can. Mason, I do. I do. I'm just not sure if it's a perfect time or not. I've had so many leaves of absence that they're renting out my parking space on a per diem basis. Baby's life revolves around the mother for the first few months, and I don't know if I should juggle my career and having a child right now. I mean, we both might suffer from that, and a hair shirt does absolutely nothing for me.
Anything Murphy Brown can do, you can do better.
And I thought you and Dan Quayle were friends. Mason, you cannot trivialize a choice like that.
And I'm not, and the proof is Samantha herself. Look how wonderfully she's turned out.
Yes, I know. That's true. However, I forgot to tell you that she told her preschool teacher that force majeure applied last weekend when it rained outside so that the children shouldn't have to comply to nap time.
That's my girl. We'll use the same recipe for the next one. It'll all work out anyway.
Okay, you win. Mm-hmm. You always do.
I always do.
Begging your pardon, sir. Madam, we are not amused.
Then I suggest you don't look, Drake.
You misunderstand me, sir. I'm referring to a particular member of the staff.
What's the problem, Dreyfus?
The problem, Julia, is este hombre. Either he goes or I go.
Please walk this way.
My name is going to be on every tush in America, and I want you right there with me.
Oh, Mom, I don't know. I mean, you know, having your name up in lights is one thing, but on somebody else's derriere,
Lily, wait a minute. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Like, I got somewhere I gotta be. What was the name of that line of jeans? No excuses. Huh. Fine, I got a line of my own. Not a Jeans, not a Rafe, not a Lisa, not a Ted. I not a who art in heaven, not a be thy name.
Hey, that's pretty good. Denham and Hemingway, part of the Back to Basics movement, yet very now, very happening, very trendoid. I think we got ourselves an ad campaign. All we gotta do is lose that sorry look on your face.
Please. Please. I'm sorry if I scared you, but don't run away from me.
You don't know what you're saying.
Then you talk and I'll just listen.
What do you want me to say?
We could start with the story. The story says a lot.
What?
Help me. Somebody, please. And BJ, I came as soon as I realized.
Well, you wasted a trip.
I hope not. Do you remember when I sent you this? Had to have black hair like you, had to have a two-part name like you. My mama helped me with this. And that's how Rachel Ann was born. It was like meant to be a friend for you. Someone we sent across the country to you, that somebody you could talk to and tell the secrets to that you couldn't tell anybody else. I don't think she'll mind if you take up the story where she left off. If it's easier, you can tell me what happened to her. We can go in the back. Nobody will disturb us. And BJ, I need you to talk the truth to me, as if your life depended on it, because it just might. And you know one thing going in. No matter what anybody says, I'm going to believe you.
Pero este viejo se ha creído que yo soy su gato, ¿qué? ¿Pero desde cuándo? ¿Cómo? ¿Por qué? Si no es más que un viejo que acaba de llegar y yo llevo aquí a mucho...
Anglais, por favor.
I was trying to wash the dinner dishes so that I could begin my cooking for tomorrow. But everywhere I look, there he is, clucking over his letters to the editor and eating dried fish. How am I supposed to get any work done?
The dried fish you so disparage, Rosie, are Arbroath Smokies.
I don't care what they're called. I won't have them in my kitchen. And you will eat what we all eat, or you'll starve, because I have no intention of preparing this menu you've demanded. It's not even in English.
Let me see that. Haggis and neeps, toad in the hole, devils on horseback.
Yummy, yummy.
This may come as a surprise, Rosa, I understand that. Rosie. But this is actually English fare. Truly. For instance, devils on horseback is oysters wrapped in bacon and so on.
True, sir. And you know, no one could eat Bitty's toad in the hole. No one.
Well, since nobody's volunteering, Dreyfus, may I give you a suggestion?
Madam.
Why don't you leave the kitchen to Rosa, and then you could eat your meals in the dining room?
Cece will never allow it.
He will if he wants us to stay here. Look, Dreyfus, with this problem solved, would you be willing to live with Rosa's culinary efforts?
God save the Queen and me too, sir. Begging your pardon, ma'am. I have lived thus far without partaking of enchiladas, tacos, or hamburgers, and in that sublime state of ignorance plan I to meet my maker.
I'm on your side, Dreyfus, as a matter of fact. I was recently presented with something called chicken mole. Vous êtes pardonné, Dreyfus.
Merci, monsieur.
Uy, caramba.
Ay, vey.
What's wrong with the expression on my face?
Nothing. If your aim is to go around looking like your cat just died. Hey, there must be something in your life worth smiling about.
Well, let's see. No buildings have fallen on me lately. That's a big plus. No cavities at my last dental checkup. Look, Ma, feeling better already.
Man trouble, huh? From the looks of things, you got it pretty bad.
What would you know about it? Why am I standing here letting myself get psyched out by a total stranger?
No such beast. I know you. You know me. Just don't know it yet.
Who are you? I've never seen you before. What, are you an intern or something?
You're obviously a lady in distress, so I am whoever you need me to be. So, why don't you tell me about the man who got away?
I don't know why I should. He got married yesterday. Obviously not to me. He got married to somebody else because he had to.
That's tough. I bet everyone thinks they're helping by telling you it's all for the best, trying to keep you so busy you won't have time to feel miserable. But there's no magnet in the world strong enough to pull your thoughts away from the guy.
You must know my mom.
I don't think so, but I've been where you are. Whole world's bugging to move on, and all you want to do is curl up in front of the TV with a box of Oreos, and cry your eyes out.
Malamars, actually.
Hey, whatever works.
You're doing a pretty good job here with me.
People power. Can't beat it with a stick. And best of all, it's not fattening.
I realize my assurance that you can trust me may not be enough. If this is impossible, I can sort of understand.
I don't want you to be disappointed in me.
I'm not, sweetie. I couldn't possibly be.
What do you do when you're a child and the grown-ups tell you that the world is round and yours suddenly goes flat? Who do you believe? Grown-ups, because they know better. But instead, your reality is that what was bad is good, and wrong is right, and night is day. You're supposed to laugh, but instead you just manage to cram yourself into one tiny corner of your mind where no one can find you. And you could go on living there forever because you don't know any better.
It's kind of tough to master the game. Somebody changes the rules on you just as you're starting to learn them. I can't imagine how terrible that must feel.
Well, I don't know how it feels either, Cruz. Because I can't feel anything. Well, you don't know how I envy people who can. I watch my mom and dad and Sawyer run the gamut of emotions from A to Z. I just sit there, like I'm watching a foreign movie without subtitles. Because I don't have a clue what they're feeling. I just don't process anything. I just put the experience away somewhere, and if I write about it, it's in the third person. It doesn't touch me.
But what happens when you do let your guard down on occasion and a feeling sneaks in there between the cracks and does touch you, BJ? Like maybe there's something you should feel guilty about, or something you should take the blame for?
But I am to blame, Cruz. Everything that happened to me is all my fault. I must have done something to make that man think that he could love me. I mean, I was 10 years old. He was old enough to be my father. He should have known better. But so should I. I should have known better, Cruz.
So you still got a major case for this guy?
Major, but it's not terminal. I mean, I may be in love, but I'm not stupid. We obviously no longer have a future together since he's married to somebody else, so then that must mean it was probably never meant to be to begin with, right?
The lady says so.
Mom, come here. This is one of the new interns.
But I don't do coffee.
Do you do copies? Never mind. I need dupes of these ASAP. I guess you work for Cece. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing as working for me, only I'm a whole lot easier on the eyes. And do not lose those sketches. I need to show them to my designer. Nice meeting you.
I'll show you where the copy machine, where they keep that.
I have a confession to make. I don't work here, at least not yet.
Well, what are you doing here, then?
Well, I'm supposed to be meeting with Gina Lockridge of Gina Jeans, but I guess I took a wrong turn somewhere.
Oh, right into the Twilight Zone. Oh, boy. I apologize for mistaking you for a runner, but if it's any consolation, you are in the right place. I'm Lily Blake. That was my mom. She's Gina Lockridge. She is Ms. Gina Jeans, and you said you had a meeting with her, so you must be the famous Franz. Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you. Why didn't you say anything?
There is no way you could have been in control of the situation. You were 10 years old.
Right. He was a bright, responsible, mature 10-year-old. Smart enough to know that it was wrong. Smart enough to figure a way out of it.
There's no such thing as a 10-year-old that smart. You were matching wits with a very desperate, very clever man. It was not a fair contest. Do you remember how it started?
With love. He was somebody I'd known my whole life. And you know how a kid will kind of adopt an extra parent?
Yeah.
Somebody who treats her like the sophisticated grown-up she is. Who singles her out, makes her feel important. Who isn't always telling her to take out the trash and finish her homework. Instead of McDonald's, he takes her to a fancy steakhouse where they have the menus written on wine bottles and serve Shirley Temples in highball glasses.
Sort of a child's fantasy of the wonderful world of adults.
Once he let me drive his car. He had an MG Roadster. I sat on his lap and steered while he worked the pedals. I felt so grown up. And one day, he told me that he loved me. And he wanted to show me how much. And I let him.
You were scared?
I knew it was wrong. The look on his face when he touched me underneath my clothes scared me. And then it wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't pretend. It wasn't dress up. I didn't like being a grown-up.
How long did it go on, B J?
A long time. Yeah. Until he had to go away for his job. And then I didn't see him till last year. I thought he'd forgotten all about me, but no such luck. He took me to dinner at a hotel. And we went up to his room afterwards. It was all lit up with candles and there was music playing. And on the bed there was a nightgown that he had bought especially for me. But it was several sizes too small. Oh, ribbons and lace. It was something.
Something what?
Something a child would wear. It was like a gown he had bought for me when I was 10. I told him I wouldn't put it on. I never wanted to see him again. And he started to cry. He said he'd die without me. So I held him until he fell asleep. And then I left. I went home and I packed my gear. And I put as much distance between me and Coral Gables as I could that night. And that's the whole story. The end.
Except that it's not over, is it? Because he's here, isn't he? He followed you to Santa Barbara.
I think I've said way too much,
no,
please.
No, believe me. This is okay. The only way you can break this man's hold on you is to name him.
It was my godfather, Cruz. It was my Uncle Frank.
Your Uncle Frank is a very sick man.
Don't blame Frank, Cruz. It was as much my fault as it was his.
That's not true, BJ. No child ever seduces an abuser. He is dangerously sick and he must be confronted.
You know what's sick, Cruz? Part of me liked some of the things that he did.
Of course you did, darling. That's completely natural, you know. Our bodies are programmed to respond.
But it was wrong for me. I knew that the older I got. And Frank wanted more from me. I told him it wasn't right. But he said it was for us to decide. He said that what we had was special and sacred. If that were true, then why would I go home and turn on the shower, scrub at my skin until it was raw?
Because it wasn't true. Your instincts were right on. What he was doing was not good or sacred. You trusted this man and he betrayed you. That's why you think you can't feel anything, because he forced you to hide your real feelings. I mean, I don't care what he called it. You and I both know that's not love. This man took you, a little girl, and made you his prisoner.
was a coward. Because I was afraid. I've ruined my life, and I ruined his, too.
Darling, I don't much care about Frank right now, but I do care about you. And you can trust me when I tell you that your life is far from ruined. It's amazing to me how well you've managed to survive this. I'm so impressed with you, BJ. And it just troubles me greatly to hear you say that any of it could be your fault, that you could be to blame on any level. You were a child, and children are, by definition, innocent. Frank, and Frank alone, is responsible for what he did to you, and Frank will answer for it. That's the truth. I hope you believe me.
I don't know. Yeah, I do.
Then it's over.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's over because you say it is. He will never come near you again. I swear that on my life.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go to him and call him out into the light.
You won't hurt him.
I want to hurt him, but I'll just try to talk to him.
Cruz. Now that I've told you all of this, do you still like me?
Oh, darling. Anyone asks you, you tell them. I'll tell them. You're my hero. You're my hero, BJ. You want to get some rest?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. You're gonna look back on this as one of the best days of your life.
Lily, I think there's some confusion that needs clearing up.
Mom, come on over here. Guess who this is?
Lily, I don't have time for guessing games. Did you make those copies for me? Franz is going to be here any minute.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Mom. This is Gina Lockridge. Mom, this is the famous Franz.
What a pleasure it is to meet you, Mrs. Lockridge.
You're the famous Franz?
At your service. I see you've been doing your homework. Well, you can forget about Liz and Ralph and Gloria. I am here to assure you that Gina Jeans will be the fashion fit of the future.
Really? Well, I didn't expect someone so
So what, my dear lady? Enthusiastic?
The word I was looking for was black.
He's not.
He's not black?
Franz. That pale imitation is or was my assistant. Now he's merely unemployed. The great and powerful Franz has spoken.
Well, I hope you realize what you've done. You've just caused me to insult the man who was going to put my jeans on America's first 400 fannies.
Excuse me, Mrs. Lockridge, but I saw his designs. They weren't anything you'd want to put your name on. Not unless you want to be famous for the return of the bell-bottoms.
Oh, really? And I suppose you have your finger on the pulse of the country's casual couture.
I do just happen to have one or two blueprints to the blue jeans of the 90s.
And I'm Coco Chanel. Out. If you're not out of here in 5 minutes, I'm gonna call security.
What, Mom, would you wait a minute? What about our new rule? Forget about the past, keep your eyes on the future.
What about it?
Well, it seems to me that old famous Franz is history, right? So I'm thinking maybe, what's your name?
Tyrone, Ty for short.
Hi, Ty for short. I'm thinking perhaps Ty here might be the wave of the future. I saw this movie, it was Backstreet one time. It was on a really late show. And Susan Hayward in the movie really was a much better designer, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe I ought to give his designs a shot.
Frank, it's Cruz.
Hey, Cruz, what's up?
Listen, man, I was hoping you might have some time today and you and I could get together and talk a little bit.
Sure thing. Police station?
No. Why don't we meet down at the beach out in front of the windsurfer? I feel like maybe grabbing a beer or something. Say half an hour?
Hey, sounds like a plan. And, Cruz?
Yeah.
I'm real glad you called.
You bet. It's not my dime, pal. It's B J's.
You know that old bed in your old bedroom that we're sharing right now? I suppose that that bed has been broken in by other... So you're admitting then that you've had other in that bed upstairs? All right, well then that's off limits for me, meaning us.
Meaning what?
Meaning I'm not going to make a baby with you in a bed that you have done with other. I want a virgin bed.
I could offer you a virgin floor.
Works for me.
Daddy's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring turns brass, Daddy's gonna buy you a looking glass.
Hey, Cruz, my man. Great night, huh?
It's on top of one hell of a day.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, Reese has been a crazy man all day. And how's Jody holding up?
I haven't seen her today, I don't know. But I did run into somebody else, you know.
Oh, yeah? Who's that?
Her name is, Rachel Ann.
Say again?
Oh, come on now, you remember her. Rachel Ann? You got her name tattooed on your back.
Man, you're crazy, you know that?
Yeah. So, I know what you did to B Jay. Question is, what am I gonna do to you?